Welcome to Breakfast Show, and you can see today I have been promoted. So I'm in a different set today, a very interesting day that we're going to start talking about very a very interesting topic, and I'll be joined by two very interesting guests, some good friends of mine who are doing an amazing job, especially in regards to the topic that we're talking about. But let me know where you're watching us from. You've sent me some questions already about the topic today. Again, this is your host, Noah Nasiali Kadima, and this is a Farmer's Breakfast Show. We have a very interesting Kadima, and this is a Farmer's Breakfast Show. Have a very interesting discussion today. Hence the reason why we came in a bit late. We wanted to make sure that it is crispy. They say it's always worth the wait when it comes to some things. Yes, remember to follow us on our social media handles at a farmers media on Facebook as well, at a farmers media on our YouTube channel. Remember to subscribe and click on the notification. My kids told me to say that. So the discussion that we're going to have today is a very interesting discussion. This is a discussion about value addition. We have always talked about value addition. We've always asked ourselves so many questions about value addition. But what is value addition? Is it profitable? Can you be able to make money? How can we be able to use value addition as a way of actually reducing food waste? We see a lot of food being wasted, a lot of tomatoes being thrown out, and why are we doing this? Why are we losing these crops? This reminds me of how I lost a lot of cabbages. For those who know the story, I lost close to 70,000 cabbages just because I couldn't get market. Can something be done out of that? I've seen a lot of work being done by the Kenya Defense Forces in terms of value addition of onions. They've done an amazing job. If you pass the Nairobi Naivasha Road all the way to Nakuru, you'll be able to see something very interesting in one of the shops there. They're actually doing value addition of onions, and it's quite pricey. So if you're in value addition, this is the day that you're going to listen. We're going to talk about some of the challenges. We're going to talk about opportunities that are there, but also just how do you start? How do you start? And our guests will be able to do this and take us through this discussion again. So before getting even into value addition, I think one of the things to ask ourselves is, why should we think about value addition in this day and age? And one of the reasons that I've actually started thinking about value addition, although I have never been a strong uh, believer in value addition, but what is happening right now, the situation in terms of drought, in terms of food, lack of food, it means that there must be something that we are doing and we're not doing right. And this thing that we're not doing right probably is, can we be able to change the way we are even taking care of food? That is post harvest management. And here comes to the fact that now we need to talk about value addition. So when you talk about value addition, I don't just mean cooking food and storing in the fridge or storing. No, there's a lot of processes that go through, a lot of machinery, a lot of challenges that are there, and opportunities as well. And when you talk about opportunities, I mean money. Yes, money. In our language, I speak Greek. It's called sirupia, and this rupiah is now the discussion that we want to discuss today. Whether I meant money. Is it profitable? When you talk about profitability, it comes in different aspects of value addition. And we look at it very critically. Sometimes we ask ourselves, do you think it is possible for us to be able to get things the right way? Get things in the right direction. It's a hard task. But when you talk about, again, value addition, what are we talking about? Are we talking about machinery? Should all farmers have machinery? Should all farmers be able to own the machinery that helps them be able to get this thing done in the right way? Or should we have a communal way? And again, we'll talk about the importance of cooperatives when it comes to value addition, because it's not just a single farmer doing everything. You cannot be the producer, the person who adds value. You are not the only one who's going to do the marketing. How can we be able to pull resources, pull again together, so that we can be able to get something out? For example, I don't need to process all my honey on my own. Probably I can have somewhere where it is, for example, Kajiado Beekeepers Cooperative. union or something like that. We've seen that in the dairy sector, which is an amazing job, a lot of value addition going on, but still you see a lot of milk being going to waste, because again, things like storage, things like coolers, chillers are not available. So today we're going to discuss in a nutshell in terms of what is required. Our guest will tell us how their journey has been like, and yes, it is something that I have grown to start liking it. In terms of what this is all about, and even some of the machinery. We'll be able to see this, and as we continue, there's something that has been that we've been discussing a lot when it comes to this particular topic. We've discussed a lot about what this looks like. If I could probably rephrase, how can we be able to solve some of the challenges that farmers are facing in having less food being wasted. So that is something that is very critical that we have to do and check it out, because once we have that as a solution, then it means that then we can be able to, yes, automatically know that what is the real value of what we're discussing. So I'll go for a short break, and then when we come back, we hope that we'll have our guest in studio here, and we can discuss much more through in terms of how their journey has.
Good evening, this is Charity and we are at a Farmers Media, the best media in East Africa. And
Keep it a Farmers Media where you connect, learn and grow. Keep it a Farmers Media where you connect, learn and grow. Keep it a Farmers Media where you connect, learn and grow. Keep it a Farmers Media where you connect, learn and grow. Keep it a farmers media where you connect, learn, and
Welcome back to the breakfast show today. And by the way, somebody told me that we need to freshen up that name. So if you have any suggestions on how we can call our show, my producers told me we need to change that topic, that name, but we will freshen it up soon. So we're discussing about something that, for example, I want to mention something that I was going through. It's from the World Bank website. It says Kenya secures $250 million to help 500,000 smallholder farmers enhance value addition and access markets. So when you read such topics, this tells us something very critical. It tells us that there is money in value addition, especially in agriculture. And when you talk about this, what happens? What was this project supposed to be? This project was supposed to unlock new opportunities for maximizing finance and private sector investments in 9 value chains through the range of value chain investments, other enabling initiatives such as improved subsidy, targeting through e-vouchers, operationalizing warehouse receipting, and this was supposed to do what? To actually activate the industry. But what do we mean by activating the industry? Activating the industry is a very broad term. But what does that mean? Activating the industry, it means that we have to make sure that we are doing the right thing. Doing the right thing is one thing, getting it right from the farmer themselves. So, what is being grown? How is it being grown? What's its varieties? How do you take care of that? Even in some of the value chains, we have to look at basically things like, what is there any machinery that we're looking at? Things like moisture content. What moisture content are we talking about? So we talk about the machinery that we're using for our our our, our farming. Even things like pest control. Let me tell you a story. So in 2017, when I started this journey, 2017 years, it was 1 year after I started this journey of actually working with different farmers smallholder farmers, who at that time we were still trying to understand what is right, what is not right, what is going on, how can we do things the right way. Then this proved to be a very big opportunity for us. However, we missed out on very important things. Number one, we missed out on, can we come together as farmers? And so coming together as farmers was basically going to help us. And so one of the days in, I think it was 2018, yes. So I went to Kibwezi. I went to Kibwezi uh, to visit some farmers. And when I went there to visit farmers, I witnessed with my own eyes the highest level of food wastage. The highest level of food wastage, despite really good investments being done there. This was at Kwachai irrigation scheme, and this particular irrigation scheme was popular with tomatoes, capsicum, chilies, because a lot of water that runs around the whole scheme. The irrigation scheme itself in Kwachai, that is in Kibwezi, a really promising opportunity. However, a lot was going to waste. And why was it going to waste? One main reason from what I saw, because there was a really huge investment that was done there of a solar dryer, which I know, I guess once they arrive, they'll be able to even tell us that I wish they had that. And then we'll also share something from Grain Pro, or what they're doing in terms of solar dryers. So this solar dryer in Kwachai was meant to add value to tomatoes in that area, because it is actually a tomato production zone. However, farmers were not sensitized. Farmers were not sensitized to be able to grow which varieties of tomatoes. Remember, not all varieties of crops that we grow are good for value addition, because even value addition has its specifics. Like, for example, somebody who wants to do value addition for tomatoes for making fruit. I mean, probably something like hizi vitu ya kupika inaitwaje? Yes, some spices or something like that. Addition, then they must have a variety that is meant for cooking. You get? Then the other way around would be very interesting. We would also have something, probably tomato varieties that are meant for not cooking but salads. So when it means if it's for salad, it means that then you have to ask yourself, okay, which variety is good for salad, which variety is good for that. So going back to the Kwachai irrigation scheme, I saw something very interesting, that when farmers, when this equipment was brought there, it was not initiated through the farmers' discussions, because they did not understand how they will be using it. They did not understand because they have never seen solar dried tomatoes. For them, tomatoes is in the farm. You get tomatoes, you eat, you cook with it, and that's it. They didn't see the value of how the importance of it, even economically, in terms of if you add value to these tomatoes using this solar dryer, why it was important. I'm not sure if it is still there. However, if you're in Kibwezi, get an opportunity to go to Kwachai irrigation scheme and just find out if it's something that is viable, if it can be done. So I believe that even they, and that's why I keep on saying, if we would come together as farmers, if we would come together in the industry and start asking ourselves really hard questions, how can we be able to use value addition? Number one, to be able to grow better incomes, better improve livelihoods of farmers. But then, the second bit, to be able to even dictate market prices. And then the most important thing is that when it comes to value addition and do it well, then automatically then we're talking about reducing and eventually stopping food wastage. So these are very critical aspects of the whole discussion that we're having. So if we go back to that particular topic that we're talking about in terms of value addition, one of the challenges that I have seen in this industry is that we have a lot of paperwork. Like there's a story there's a document that was produced, which we will try and see if we can share it in our in our platform. This is one by Professor Letondo Ket. She's done a very important document. It's written indicators of value added agribusinesses on small farms in Kenya, and it was basically an empirical study of Kiambu and Murang'a counties, two counties that are notorious with food wastage. When I say notorious, because a lot of food that is wasted and thrown away in these two counties. Because lack of proper mechanization, lack of proper sensitization on behalf of farmers when it comes to value addition. So this is something that is very critical. So this topic, or this document by Professor Litondo Ket, was actually published. When was it published? In 2014. But a lot has changed now. A lot of things have changed now. So it's very important for us to look at this. But why does value addition matter? Why does it matter? There's a reason why some things are done. There's some reason. The value addition in and what is the importance. So according to a certain report, again, a lot of this is data, and that is why that's so if you said in a lot of data in agribusiness, always tune into to my show, breakfast show. We discuss hard questions, hard topics. And these hard topics they're hard but very simple. For example, what is value added? So agriculture the agriculture industry has long been tied. The industrialization and agriculture has always been tied together, because if you talk about we might talk about Kenya Association of Manufacturers, who it's a topic that I'm reading. It's actually one of the blogs that I'm actually going through here. We might not think about farming as they discuss about even leather. But you see, this leather comes from hides and skins. So if the cows and the goats and any animal that is being kept is should or can contribute properly into the aspect of um, and into the aspects of value addition, it means that then you better get better skin quality. So better skin quality, hides and skins, it means that the animals are fed well, all that was taken into consideration, and not just the dead animals. Yeah. Then the other thing is things like cotton, fresh fruits, tree barks, among other things that now contribute to the final product. So I am being told by that our guests are here, and I hope they've brought for us something that we should be using. I hope if they have not, I'll tell them not to come to the show again. Yeah, so let's wait and see. They'll be coming in as we can continue. Actually, they'll be walking in as we continue discussing this. So as the discussion is going on, we want you to let us know what you're thinking about value addition. If you have any questions, share with us, and we'll be answering. We'll also be answering the same questions. Allow us to go for a short break, and when we come back, we bring to you our guests who will tell us their story. They will do the talking. Thank you.
Keep it a farmers media where you connect, learn, and grow. Keep it a farmers media where you connect, learn, and grow. Keep it a farmers media where you connect, learn, and grow. Keep it a farmers media where you connect, learn, and grow. Keep it a farmers media where you connect, learn,
Two, one. Thank you for staying tuned. And as we've been discussing today in the morning, we are actually asking ourselves: is there money in what we do? And apart from just money, how can we help improve livelihoods? How can we help improve a lifestyle of not only ourselves but even farmers? And also, just how do we make sure that we are stopping food waste? And I'm joined by my guests today who will introduce themselves. They've said they're supposed to bring for us vegetables, lakini hakuna mboga. Wakulima wapi mboga? Welcome.
Asante sana. I'm Lynn Odiwa, co-founder and director Nature's Best Agriculture Limited. I'm pleased to be at the studio this morning to have meaningful conversations around food waste, and value addition.
And I'm Fiona Morema, Nature's Best co-founder, and also elated to be here. And let's talk value addition. Let's talk on various ways that we can be able to minimally process these farm produces that are going to waste.
Thanks for coming. Thanks. I know Kitengela is not here. Where did Nature's Best start? Where did it start?
Okay, Nature's Best started. It's an idea that came from a situation that it wasn't really expected, but it turned out to be a beautiful story at the end, which is now Nature's Best. Yeah, it began from a situation where I went through a situation that I lacked food. Actually, let me say basic needs, but now food was the most important, and that was during COVID. So it got so bad that the situation was not really good. But finally, I found the solution. The saving grace came from the indigenous vegetables, the kienyeji vegetables, and from that, that is where the realization came that you can these vegetables can provide you with the proper nutritional value needed. It kept me going for a long time because these vegetables can stay longer, especially after making them. The shelf life goes longer. So I was not really worried after getting them in bulk. I was not worried again about where is the next food going to come from. Yeah, some people may think they're boring, but if you have a variety of them, actually they're nice. And it kept me going very, very well. And that is how Nature's Best came to birth, because that is when we realized how many more people are in such a situation. And now just going back keenly to do research on what are the nutritional value, because at that point I was expectant. And when you cannot get different diets, you cannot afford all the different diets you'd think of. But then now you're going to the hospital for your prenatal checkups, and you're told everything is fine, you look healthy, the baby is healthy. I can clearly say it was because of God, and also literally the indigenous vegetables that I was surviving on at that time.
Very interesting. And when you're doing this, and what was going through your mind in terms of other women and nutrition at the same time?
Yeah, first, when I saw how important, how the benefits of these. We have so many articles online, and when you go online just to do research, you'd find so much information about these. So that is exactly what I did. And then now, what brought about actually the whole business model, because we are not just operating as a profit-making business, we are running as a social enterprise that is also looking into the interest of women, vulnerable women. So we decided to find a way that, besides just having to eat these vegetables so that it can be beneficial, give the nutritional benefits, it's also, there's a way it can also bring impact, especially the economic impact, because right from the farmers, the women we're working with rural smallholder farmers who are women. And most of the time women are going through, generally, there are a lot of socio-economic factors that are not allowing them to thrive in agriculture the way they should. So this is where we decided now we needed to work with them just right from the ground. We are working with women who are in vulnerable situations. And then all through, we also work with we create during the value addition. Now this is why even value addition is important, because it also creates employment throughout the value chain. We create employment opportunities during the processing of the vegetables, especially for the women, the vulnerable women from the low resource settings, like the Mukuru Kayaba slums. We work with young single mothers who have probably, like, I went through that situation and I understand exactly how it is to lack. But now if we can use something that gave me nutritional benefits, kept me healthy, but then it can also bring not just, it might not be helping somebody else through how it helped me,
Yes.
but it's also creating employment opportunities for people. Like their whole lives are changing around it just because of these vegetables.
Very interesting.
Yes.
Fiona, you have been very passionate getting to understand how these women that you're working with in your journey can be able to be supported. Tell us about these women you work with.
Okay, actually, the first time when you're doing this business, you're doing just the 2 of us.
Yes. And actually, sorry, and also how you saw this as an opportunity.
So when you started this business, we're just doing the 2 of us. So it was so hectic, and when we stopped at a point in time because we had to restructure a lot of things.
Sorry.
Yes, that's just the 2 of us.
Seriously?
Just the 2 of us.
Throughout the night.
Actually, then when you're starting a business, you're just starting a business.
Yes.
No strategy, no nothing. Like you just bring those vegetables. You're not even calculating your costs. You're not doing anything. The only thing you do is
remove the vegetables,
to work on the vegetables,
process
processing it and selling. And that time you find like, yes, you're selling,
Yes.
but are you getting the profits? You're not getting the profits. So after COVID hit and we had lockdown, the vegetables were not able to reach Nairobi from other counties. So that is when we decided, and financial issues actually struck there, and we were like, okay, fine, we need to hold this thing and see how things goes. Actually, we wanted to dump it it reached a point we wanted to dump it. Yeah, we wanted to dump it for something else. If you told us about these vegetables, we'll be looking at you and you are like, do you know exactly this is something we've tried, it's not working.
What is not working?
we did not realize
that the model of how we're supposed to do it.
We didn't strategize. We didn't look into the best way to approach this.
So it didn't look profitable.
Okay,
No,
then
really.
At that time, we didn't see
the light at the end of the tunnel, and it was like, when you tell us about these vegetables,
Actually, we had so many clients who could still keep calling and saying like, really, we need the vegetables. What are you going to do? Are you really coming back? From here, we will. But in our minds, we're like, we're looking into something else that we thought would really work out at that time.
What was this other thing?
a laundromat.
We wanted to do.
That laundromat was costing like a good laundromat will cost like, let's say 5 million, 8 million,
or 10.
And
actually,
or
in a way
10
that we wanted to do it.
No,
We had already researched the current laundromats available.
Yes.
But we wanted to bring a different face to it, like
modern
especially
one.
a modern one
With delivery, because you
with
have to go and
facilities.
collect.
And you know what?
Actually, we wanted a place where, like a cafe where somebody you can come and as you do your work,
As you wait for the
clean your
clothes,
clothes yourself.
that will have a kids corner.
Yes.
You know, in your mind, when it
you're
comes to
picturing a
dreaming,
big thing.
and you are there in your office just swinging on your chair, you don't want anything to do with like, I'm in my office and this.
And you know, keep
Then
a
you
burger.
come and realize
The whole night you spent making burger, the
Yes.
full night. And that's what I was expecting. So you can imagine the way you can get tired.
Where was
You
this?
would
Where
do
was
this. That was 2020.
Wow. Okay, interesting. So that was when COVID had hit. Now.
Yeah.
Actually, we began before COVID hit. That was
Okay.
early, about January of 2020,
Mhm.
where it peaked well. Things were just going on. It was exciting, but then still we had not. We had not. I think COVID brought out the pressure. Literally, now you can
Yes.
see
Yes.
it's not working as you are thinking. Yeah.
And even before we started now selling we started sourcing vegetables from around.
Okay.
Now that is when we realized there's a difference, there's a very big difference. You know, you're like, yeah, there's a difference, but you've not tried.
Yes.
But we experienced firsthand there's a difference between these vegetables from the city and vegetables from the rural smallholder farmers.
Okay.
So most of the vegetables disappointed us. Clients would like tell there's a difference, like it doesn't taste the same. And most of the time, once you work on the vegetables and you leave them in the open air, I think
They'll
because
go
of too
bad
much
very
chemicals,
Ah.
they'll go too bad. They'll go
Okay.
bad very fast. So
Actually, even before processing, just
The
know,
stench,
because it's
like
a
you
lot,
feel.
we will bring like a sack or two at that time,
Okay.
and you just placed them down. As you continue working, after some time, the whole room is smelling so bad, and then you realize what is
Boga.
wrong.
yeah, like
it is
you know
boga.
how
But
manabu
the others,
smells. There's
Yes.
that.
actually, it can go even
There's that
till the
aroma.
next day,
Exactly.
but the vegetables are
Let me
still
ask you, when you're doing this as a way, as a solution, probably health wise or otherwise, what was going through your mind in terms of farmers who grow these vegetables and throw it away?
actually with time, you know, now like in business, with time things keep changing.
Okay.
Like you also try to get new ideas, because initially for us it was for like profit, because now
Okay.
like there was an opportunity, we had already identified an opportunity.
So,
But
as you mentioned that, so is there profit?
Right
Yes.
now, yes.
yes,
Sure.
there's profit,
How
because
come?
it's that profit that has made us come from we started from like doing this in the house,
Yes.
but now we have
it commercial.
like a production unit. We have a physical store where somebody can
Yes,
pop up and
I
pick.
have been there.
Yes.
Yes. So now my question is, Madam Momboga, where did that? How did that? How was that coined?
Okay, when we came back, when we decided to come back to do this now
Yes, yes.
fully, like now we said it is like there's no other option.
Yes.
We're going in it fully, and we have to like look for ways that we're going to make it interesting, make people like embrace this fully.
Okay.
So we thought like we could not call ourselves Mama Boga, because it's normal
Yes.
anybody selling boga is
Mama
Mama
Boga.
Boga. So we said instead of
Madam
Mama
Boga.
Boga,
Madam Momboga.
let's
Interesting.
And
do
actually,
Madam
when we
Boga.
printed T-shirts
Yes.
at the back, actually our first T-shirts at the
Yes.
back we wrote the Momboga.
Yes.
When you wear that shirt, T-shirt and you walk, actually
Yes.
it will create attention. People
Yes.
will be like Madam Momboga and all that and logo and everything. Just that this one we're not able to brand it at the back, but
Yes.
you're going to do it because it had a
It
good
had a good
reaction.
impact, yes.
Yes.
And everybody would, even you're walking and somebody, what do you do? Like, you sell boga, yeah. And it was actually there are few people who made inquiries from that.
And that Madam Momboga thing actually has really marketed us.
In fact, when we posted that today, that many people are like, "Oh, really?" So now, as you are doing this, there's something that is coming to my mind and asking. There's so many opportunities that young people get to have, and to do. Why did you just stick with traditional vegetables? And I mean, I'll ask this, but you can answer later. Traditional organic vegetables, no chemicals. Sisi za Nairobi zimewekwa kwa sewage,
sewage.
too much chemicals. Why did you just focus on that only? Because we see so many people doing this, but you find the taste is always changing. You test today, test tomorrow, very different. How have you guys managed to be authentic?
So actually, what made us stick to the organic one?
Yes.
When you try those vegetables and you sell to people, sometimes somebody will be like, "I'm feeling like somebody is prone to ulcers and all that." So it was not going down with them. So we were like, the vegetables we used to sell before, we used to sell the same vegetables. Somebody eats kunde today and it's okay. When somebody eats the kunde that we sourced from Nairobi, they're feeling their stomach
Different,
is not
yes.
okay. They're feeling different. So we're like, could it be because of this too much chemicals?
Okay.
That is why somebody cannot be able to, their bodies cannot be able to tolerate.
Okay.
So we decided, like, instead of when we were re-strategizing,
Yes.
so we're like, since we are doing it on small scale, so we decided to go back in the village and talk to those farmers on the ground. So
Okay.
we're like, right now, when we go to the village, like, we need somebody who will. The first time it was so difficult because now we are not conversant to the village, and the
Okay.
village people will not relate with us. Maybe they'll feel these women, when people who look a bit sophisticated come to the village and like maybe you want to take advantage of them. So we're like, we need to find somebody on the ground. The dad has really helped us.
Okay.
My cousin has really helped us on the ground, and we were like, we need people who are going to talk to those women to
Okay.
convince them
Alright.
to farm, because most of the time they were farming in small hold, like in small scale.
Okay.
So we're like, they need to farm on large scale, something that can bring them profit. Most of the time, they were not doing that because of the brokers.
Okay.
The prices that they were being bought from was very, very low,
Okay.
and was not able to sustain farming or sustain their livelihood.
Okay.
So we were like, okay, fine, we need to farm, and the prices that we buy from the brokers or from the market, those are the prices that we are going to buy from them directly from
And
the farm.
another thing is like now adopting the business model that we're working on currently. For us to support the women from the village, because now we really want to support women smallholder farmers. So for us to support them, then we have to engage them directly. We don't want just to go and buy, like we don't have any relationship.
So now,
that is-
how do you make sure that they're doing the right thing? Which by the way, which vegetables do you use? Do you buy all vegetables, or do you have specific traditional vegetables that you buy?
We have almost all.
All.
Let me not say all, because there are like a few that we don't have. We have like managu, we do kunde, terere.
Okay, so now that you're working with smallholder farmers quite far, and I have seen, which I think will be sharing some of the photos of you in the middle of women talking to them, you in gumboots. Like the energy you guys have is on another level. How do you feel working with these ladies? And you mentioned something very important, Fiona, that you pay them what the brokers pay them.
Yeah. No, actually, we pay them the price the brokers
Would
are
have
selling
paid.
to people.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yes, that is what we are paying. We're not paying them a different price. We were
So
like,
you've reduced
in the market,
you've reduced the
the
gap.
middleman, we've
Yeah.
cut the middleman.
So at least somebody is
completely.
benefiting directly, like you're benefiting from the work that you put.
Very interesting. For those who are watching, you can hear that it's not just value addition.
Yeah.
There's an impact that you create. It's a ripple effect all the way to the farmer, and something that is also very interesting, which you will share with us probably after the break, is this lady who has been, I think you've mentioned, we've talked about this before. There are two ladies that have been very instrumental in making this a success. I think one was your mother.
Yeah.
Yes. And also just this other lady who has been like supporting you guys in terms of now amongst the other women that you work with, in terms of how have they changed their lives and stuff like that. Then you'll also tell us why we should vote for you.
Okay.
We'll be coming back in a short while. We are talking with Nature's Best and Fiona and Lynn, and they're telling us about value addition, and not just the value addition that we think it's getting vegetables, pressing and selling. There's a lot of it. There's a journey, and that if you have any questions, let us know. This is Breakfast Show. We'll be right back.
Keep it a farmers media where you connect, learn, and grow. Keep it a farmers media where you connect, learn, and grow. Keep it a farmers media where you connect, learn, and grow. Keep it a farmers media where you connect, learn, and grow. Keep it a farmers media where you connect, learn, and
Welcome back to Farmers Breakfast Show, and we are discussing about value addition and value addition in relation with money, value addition in relation with social impact, value addition in relation to livelihoods, improve livelihoods. And my guests today, Lynn and Fiona, are taking us through their journey through Nature's Best, and it has grown beyond Nature's Best into now value addition, into now sensitizing farmers to do the right thing. And as we've been discussing, and I think it's for the first time, there's an impact that we can be able to have in society, in communities. Take us through that impact that you've been doing, how you transformed from for profit into a social enterprise, and why.
Okay, now one thing that really drove us, like, it was not avoidable, because now for you to also have trustworthy vegetables,
Yes.
we're at a time when people want to eat healthy, but if you're also selling health,
Yes.
are you really telling them, do they know the journey? Do they know it's trustworthy? Like, this is something that I can trust my health with.
Yes.
Yeah, or it's just health, how people talk about health, but it's not.
Okay.
Like, yeah.
Okay.
So now for us to do this, we had to work with the organized groups. And the only way we could do this, because we also wanted to help somebody. Personally, I've grown in the village.
Okay.
Yeah, my own mom, she's the one who organized actually how even the other farmers were coming together now to do this. So I can also see she even herself has benefited from it, because now the farm was only for probably eating at home, or maybe a few people would come for them to take to the market. But then now she even herself, she's getting money from farming, like from these vegetables. And then as again we wanted now to create the whole change, not just leaving it at that point, but even for the women, it's unavoidable, because we cannot do that on our own. During processing of the vegetables, it's a lot of work, because right now we do more than 300, about 600 kgs a week. So that is a lot. And we need to, yes.
Actually, yeah, from 100 kgs,
From 100 kgs
to 600 kgs. And actually, we can even produce more.
Even more.
My M-Pesa number is. Let me ask. From 100 to 600.
Yes. And actually, it's going to shoot. That we have this climate change issue that is
actually all over. It's so sad that at this moment we are experiencing, and this is what we are talking about. Why we need to have conversations on value addition, because the moment you do value addition on a farm produce,
yes,
you're giving it a longer shelf life, and we would not even be going through this right now, because if you remember a few months ago, there were vegetables that were being wasted, literally.
Yes.
Yeah.
So let me ask you, okay, This is now very interesting. 600 kilos of vegetables is not little.
Yeah.
It's a lot of.
It's a lot.
Mhm.
How have you managed to sensitize the women to grow them healthy? Because that is where the challenge is. Because I mean, and I've seen, I think we'll have some videos of you even visiting some of the farmers, yeah. How have you managed to do this? Do you have any agriculture background?
Okay, about agricultural background,
Yes.
honestly, we
No.
don't. But this is something that we had to develop. The interest had to come because now you're dealing with the vegetables.
Yes.
And you are sensitizing like about these vegetables, how they are healthy, how they are grown under good conditions and all that. So definitely you
Yes.
have to have that interest of how those vegetables are grown. And right now we are working with these women. We are impacting them, someone who is benefiting.
Yes.
So from the ground, actually, that is where we've also worked with we met you a farmers media
Yes.
when it comes to soil testing and all those
Yes,
things.
yes.
You also enlightened us about all these farming techniques, and we get from social media, from
Yes.
internet. So
Yes.
yeah, that is how actually we came to learn. Not that you are doing it like firsthand, but we even like connect them to people who expertise,
Yes.
who are conversant with this area.
So now, because 600 kilos, it means that very many farmers, or because 600 kilos of traditional vegetables is not 3 acres, it is so much more.
Yeah.
How have you managed to transport these vegetables?
Now, okay, the transport has been working so far. Right now, we're working with farmers from 2 different counties.
Okay.
We work with farmers from Migori, and we work with
Kisii.
farmers from Kisii.
Okay.
So for Kisii, because Kisii for a long time has been known for transporting fruits and vegetables,
Yes.
the transportation has been easy. But now for the challenge has been from the Migori farmers.
Because you have to, you have to connect.
You have to connect, and it's not easy because sometimes you rely on the public, the TSVs, yeah.
Yes.
And sometimes the vegetables get here when part of it is totally damaged, some of it has spoiled, and that is like a waste. Yeah.
So now there's a campaign that we're running, which I think I've mentioned to you, the Affordable Transport and Logistics Services. It's a campaign that we're running with the UK TCAB, funded by the UK Aid. How do you see transport as a solution to what you are doing, so that you can be able to reduce, number one, the cost of transportation, the risk, because when it comes to public transport, if it gets spoiled, that vegetable is spoiled.
Yeah.
And also, what would that look like? Would that enable you to do much more?
Yes, definitely. It's really going to enable us to do much more. And again, I realized when you are having conversations with these people from the rural,
Yes.
most of them are shying more from also getting together and doing more, because as at now, the demand is growing. Actually, we have lots of, especially even the international market.
Yes.
The demand is growing, and we need to find more people. But now, if somebody hears that, last time maybe they brought mboga and it went bad, but now if at all this issue can be handled, even more people who are interested in doing this already can come in, and because they are
What
sure
issue should be handled?
the transport and logistics issues.
Yes.
Yes.
How do you envision that? Is it having, because you mentioned something very interesting, that the farmers, some of them are not coming together because they're shying off, because probably one sack got spoiled and
Yes.
something. How do you envision that as a solution?
It's going to be a solution, because once, if at all I have a surety that I'm going to benefit, because when if these vegetables get here when they're bad, they will have to bear the losses, because we will not be able to pay for, like, we bear the sum of the losses,
Like we go half.
So it hurts both sides.
It hurts both sides. So most of them are shying off. Because of
but
that.
now if we have like probably a place, and then we're also trying to work, if you're working with many people, you will not automatically find them in one space.
Yes.
Probably somebody might be in a different place.
Okay.
And let me hope, I'm not really sure how you're going to do it, but I'm also thinking probably you will have like a center where these other people can bring in together the produce, so
like
that they can be a central collection point.
Yes.
Yeah, which will be easier for them. So for them, they know they're just sure, they won't be worried about how is it going to get from there
from their farm to the collection point.
For them, it's from the farm to the collection point.
Which that is they take care of that cost.
Yeah, they should take care of that
Okay.
cost. Actually, for now, we've been taking care of the cost because we pay for the transportation all the way from how it goes.
So just take us through a journey of one farmer. How do they use? Is it a border to the market? Do they carry it to the place where probably the bus stop? How do you do that?
These are smallholder farmers, so we are not talking about here pickups or lorries.
Yes.
Yeah, they're talking about border borders. Actually, it's border border.
Most of them they use border borders.
To take
And
them
maybe
from
if
the
it's
farm.
those, let's say those pickups,
Yes.
those old pickups.
The old ones,
Yeah,
the
they're
one
very,
you
very
reach
old.
that.
Yes, exactly. So they converge in one place, maybe from the farm, so that they can reach to a central point where they can be picked.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the three aspects of the transport and logistics is affordable transport, which is definitely a very important part. There's the bringing the farmers together in terms of like not necessarily. Eventually, a cooperative would be fantastic, but also there's things about storage. Would storage play a role in this, especially having a centralized place?
Yes,
Yes.
it would.
Mhm.
It would.
Yeah, it's going to pay. Yeah, definitely, it's going to make a very big change.
Okay.
Because right now, let's say, for example, we are going through this climate issue. If we had a storage facility that can hold up to around 1 to 2 tons,
Yes.
trust me, by now we'll be supplying those vegetables because we are extending the. Remember,
Shelf life.
it's value addition. We are
Okay.
extending the shelf life.
Yes.
As long as they are freezed in good conditions, they can stay up to 1 year.
Really?
Yes, they can stay up to 1
The
year.
clients will take the vegetables to Switzerland.
And they
And
still
they
one
stay because
actually
now-
is still in
now-
the freezer to date.
Oh, really?
Yes. And
Ah.
once you cook, they remain as fresh as possible.
Okay, very interesting.
Yeah.
So for you, storage is a very important part.
Very
is-
important
it's-
part.
Storage will really play an important part because at this time we cannot be still talking about the traditional ways of preservation like the drying. Because if you look at this is something that many people have asked us do the dried vegetables, but then there's kind of a difference in taste. I think
Okay.
people have always gone for the dried option, the dehydrated options, because there was no alternative. But if you can still get an alternative where you can have a different way of preservation, but you're still going to get your vegetable in the authentic taste as
So there's a very big difference between the dried.
Yes,
and the-
very
very
Okay.
big. And actually, people who are taking the dried vegetables abroad,
Yes.
the moment they tried these hydrated ones,
Yes.
trust you me, they got hooked, and actually they can't change.
because many people can't.
And actually, most people most people target anybody who is going. No matter they even ask on Facebook, anybody who is going, and they are even like very ready to pay for the extra kgs.
Okay.
Like the demand out there, actually in Qatar, the demand is so high.
Very
And
interesting.
when we talk
demand is so
about the storage in relation to food waste,
Yes.
a lot of right now, let me say during the seasons where the vegetables are in plenty, you find there are areas where there's so much, but us as nature's best, there is just a capacity that we can handle.
Okay.
And we would really love to even handle more, like we can store more vegetables if we could be having options of having the other cold storage where
Yes.
the cold rooms where probably we can now take as much as possible so that as like we minimize completely on the food wasted so that lots of it is we do the value addition and then now it's preserved for even for sales, export.
And for the seasons like now,
Yes, for now we would not be lacking. Actually, you walk in supermarkets, even the supermarkets don't have
they don't have those vegetables, and
yes.
even if it's this maybe the skuma, the spinach, like the leaves are charred. Like
Yes,
you feel,
yes. Yesterday to me, we normally send for a message at 5 o'clock to Peter supermarket to Baby Mboga. When I passed, I didn't get the vegetables. Yeah. So now you talked about now the aspect of transport. Now let's go back and talk about these ladies, and I hope we can be able to play a video. How have you seen the transformation of these ladies from day one of them getting scared like, hey, tunapeleka wapi mboga, to them even singing during like when they're working? How have you seen this journey of the transformation of this?
So the women in the
Both
village
in the village as well as when you're working.
also actually
And how did you convince the one that you're working? I think we've had this discussion. How have you convinced the one you're working with in Nairobi not to go and do other jobs, but to make sure they're doing this?
Actually, I think I can say it's God's increase, honestly, because it's a lot of work. And when we started this business, when we were doing it in the house, we started with 5 women. And actually, she's like our manager for now. She's managing those women.
This one, lady,
trust you me, that lady has stuck with us from when we were paying her 250 shillings from morning to 8 at night.
When you're just starting.
When we're just starting. And now I think because now like we started increasing their salaries gradually. So they were like, if you people started from the house, this is the amount that you are paying her. This is the amount that you are paying us while you were working back then. It was just actually 1 year. I feel like we have worked like 5 years ago, but it's just 1 year. It sounds like no, like lately we're like we have really done a lot in a very short period. Yeah, kabisa.
Because when you're talking, when we met you guys, it was last year
June.
Last year June, you had just done this for like 1 year.
Not even 1 year. We had 6 months.
No, because we began in 2020,
and then
but now when COVID got so bad, we had to take a break.
Yes.
Like
so 2021 is when now you like started.
Yes. Actually, it's 2021 in July. That is when now we came back fully and now decided we are going with it. Yes.
Okay.
So like when they're working, you listen them when they're talking their small talk, they'll be like, hii biashara tangu tuanze mpaka saa hii like imegrow na tunaona tuko na matumaini ita grow better than this. Actually they joke most of the time like we are going to have a plant, we are planning to have a plant. Like we talk to them our vision so that they can see exactly this is where we came from, this is where we are, and this is where we are going.
And to encourage them to put the effort so that you're not just working for now, but we are seeing like a bigger vision of it. And so most of them were going from Jengo.
Yes.
There's one who she came when she had a very bad accident, and we asked her like, where did you get this? That now during she had a fall, yes, and it's so bad. And now these, at least it's you cannot compare it to Jengo, so it's something that they are seeing a difference. And then we can also see like some of them came when even physically you could see how their health was not good, because we also provide lunch, and you could see how they would. Like it was like
they'll psych up on that
food. And some of them would say, nikitoka hapa, let me just eat well because from here I'm on mpaka kesho. So you can imagine, and they have kids, probably somebody is eating so that at least the children will be able to get enough food for that. But now, even there's one who was coming with the child. When he was not looking really healthy. Right now the baby is grown, he is very healthy, he looks good. So you can clearly see like there is impact. And that is why we tell people, the moment you buy from Nature's Best, you're not just buying to profit somebody, you're buying to, like, your money is contributing to somebody, a whole household somewhere, transforming their whole livelihood.
So it's a ripple effect.
Yes.
From the farmer to the ladies who are working, into even those who are buying healthy meals.
Yes.
So now you moved to transform from for-profit to a social enterprise. Why?
We decided we were like, we are working with, since we've decided to create an impact for the community. So we're like, we need to to come up with something to register it as a social enterprise, so that we can't help these women on our own. Like we will need people, partners, we'll need funders to come in and help us, because like we don't want just to change their lives. We want something that can be seen. We want them to say like, this is how they were and this is how they are now, and we want them like to be something different tomorrow. So we're like, we cannot be able to do this on our own. And when it comes to these farmers and all that, right now we need these like irrigation systems and all that. Like how the company is now, we might not afford it at the moment. We cannot afford like to give them all this technological stuff and all this. So like we're like, when we register it as a social enterprise, it's going to enable us to go and ask for help from institutions,
partners,
and other partners, or anybody who wants to come in on board.
And also another inspiration was from like the situation when you ask like the story behind this. Like if you really know, if you can feel as a single mom, I'm a single mom of 2 beautiful kids. Yes. So you can understand, like, if for me at least I had some I am educated. I've already explored a bit of employment. Like I had opportunity, but still a situation like COVID got me in a level that I would not imagine, because you exhaust all your savings, you exhaust everything, and then now you are stuck. So you can imagine a woman somewhere who probably she got maybe alifika 8, they never proceeded. Like
Yes.
there's so much limited. Like how can you help them? Because you can also not go back and take them to school.
Yes.
Like, but now you have to figure out if
How
this is the
best.
situation we are, how best can we help them? How can they grow? And this also really inspired. I think from that experience, I've been so positive towards creating an impact because because I know that situation is not an easy situation to be in. But if somebody else is there, people go through GBV issues, GBV survivors, but they go through this because they don't have that, like they do not have the finances. Somebody will be saying, if I leave, how am I going to survive? But now, if a woman is empowered, you will not have to suffer violence just to because somebody is providing. You can still have an opportunity to make your own money and be confident and just live a fulfilled life, not just living because somebody is providing for you. Yeah,
Hey.
and
And
all
actually
these
that's
inspiring these.
And actually, that is what they are going through.
Yeah.
Like
Yes.
when they're working on those vegetables,
Yes.
you'll hear them say like, mimi bwanangu akinipiga anapiga huku, mimi naruka huku na siwezi toka kwa sababu watu watasomaje.
Yeah.
And we are like, okay, when you start engaging them, they start opening up. And actually, I think we lost one of them, unfortunately, due to that, because like the man was mistreating them, and sometimes these women have left families in the village.
Yes.
A whole family in the village. When they come to Nairobi, they remarry again because of those
You
they
lack
can't
money.
provide.
You cannot provide for yourself.
And you know
Yeah.
the conditions that they are living. So you can imagine for you to stoop that low. You know, when you come from the village, you're living in Nairobi. People feel like, oh, you're living in Nairobi,
Yes.
the famous Nairobi.
Yes.
But now they're in slums.
So now let me ask you, this having now the social enterprise, and for sure this requires a lot of assistance. What is this assistance you require
For us, for now,
for you to continue having that impact? Because that's changing livelihood.
Yeah.
for now, what like the support we really need is
Yes.
On the
That is the camera.
storage facilities.
Yes.
Because
And
right
there's something that my mom has told me one day: don't ask for what you want now. Don't fear asking for what is big.
yeah.
Ask for what is big. Some people will come in together. So I'm not saying any people will come in, but just
But yeah,
if you are to meet a
never.
partners today, what would you be looking for?
Okay, for now, like having look at these, because we have also sat down and envisioned where we want to be a few like several years from now. But one thing we would really want to do, because what we need is inspired from the challenges that we've gone through.
Okay.
When we were beginning and
Yes.
we had not found like a location where we could do this production, we really struggled. Actually, it was a struggle. We almost gave up because we were like, how are we going to do this? It's already grown. You cannot do it from the house. But also getting just a space that is not either. If you go somewhere, somebody will tell you, if you're producing that large capacity, then you need a plant.
Or
At
you need
that
a
time,
go-down.
you
A
cannot
go-down
afford
goes for
that.
200,000.
Yeah. So you cannot get something for a like somebody who is just growing. Actually, for us, I think it's God's grace as well that we found that place, because it is not such a huge place,
Yes.
but it can support what we're doing now, or which it's even growing now. We are going to go, it's becoming smaller. So I'm sure there are other people who are trying to do value addition on other products.
Yes.
Maybe they might not be vegetable, but they might be going through this kind of challenge. We're looking into having like a production unit,
Okay.
a huge production unit that can not only just holding Nature's Best, but can also bring other small entrepreneurs who want to grow their businesses in terms of value addition.
Okay.
Yeah, so if we are asking for people who maybe we can partner such that they can help us, because also having a plant is not something, it's not child
So
It doesn't come cheap.
yeah,
Is that-
because
is that
you have
cheap?
to
And-
fit in
even the quality.
food
The quality,
grade.
yeah,
Yes.
definitely.
Yeah,
So now, when it comes to now the storage and that bit, how do you envision other smaller players, other people who are doing value addition? How do you envision them to come and be part of this area that you're going to be working?
Okay, so we are looking forward to having a huge plant.
Okay.
You see how Kirdi is.
Yes.
Right now, actually, we went to look for a space at Kirdi, and they told us, you guys, you have, unless you
Your
do 50
capacity is
kgs. So we're
grown.
like, should we do 50 kgs? We're like,
not
okay, that
make
would not
sense.
be business.
That makes
Then
sense.
we're like, okay, what about 100 kgs still? was not
Actually,
going to
at
make sense.
100, they say that is now we are going to create inconvenience
To other people. And honestly, we were like forcing issues.
Okay.
So when you're going to this plan, definitely we are going to machinery. We'll have different forms of machinery that will be able to facilitate of different products.
Okay.
Like we are planning to have a plant whereby somebody who with that facility there. Somebody who is doing, let's say, nuts, somebody who is doing peanut butter, somebody who is doing avocado,
Tomatoes.
somebody who is doing tomatoes and all that. So we want to come up we are looking for partners to come up with such machinery. And most of the time, when it comes to export market,
Yes.
they are really
Sensitive of
specific
quality
and sensitive of
packaging.
quality packaging and the machines that you use. It has to be food grade.
Yes.
And sometimes they even specify the country. Like when it comes to Europe and all
Yes.
that, there are some machines that maybe, let's say, from China and all that, most of the time they don't accept at all.
Okay.
When you even go to QD, most of those machineries they come from Thailand and European countries.
Right.
Yes.
So
that is what we want. So we actually we formed a group online.
Yes.
Yes, that will join. We want to have all these people together where we're going to discuss about various ways of value addition, where we're going to discuss about challenges that are facing people who are into this industry and the solutions that we can come up with. So simply we're just there to exchange ideas.
So what is the name of the group?
The group is called Youth Thriving in
Yes, I've seen
Entrepreneurship.
it. Yes.
Yeah, and value addition. And again, another inspiration for us to form that group is, many times you look at somebody, like someone, probably a young person who is trying to get into farming,
Yes.
but they still have the mindset that we can only grow in farming, like you produce and sell directly.
Kulima.
Yeah, you find now they've harvested, somebody has like a whole renew of tomatoes, like there's so much, and then they're looking for buyers. And probably if they don't get, what is going to happen
Wasted
next.
food.
Wasted food. So we want to bring, like, somebody has an idea, they're already farming, they have maybe that piece of land, and to tell them, like, you don't have to worry about not continuing because you don't have the direct market at that time.
Yeah.
You can still explore this in different ways.
Have it ready. Then
Yes, you can make something like a different product from just the tomato itself.
So now let me ask you. Now we started talking about sustainability. The vegetables that you buy and you produce, these other young people come in. Somebody can have they come with tomatoes. They can process it and make it into, I don't know what it's normally called.
Tomato paste.
Tomato paste, yes, and the rest. We have onions, and people have seen KDF are doing an amazing job with adding value to onions. When you look at all these that you're thinking about, and it is basically going to touch on impact. It's going to touch on people's lives, and as we say this, where is the money?
The money.
Where is the money in terms of the way you are saying? Because 600 kilos, we know farmers who are throwing away 600 kilos of vegetables. Where is the money in terms of, do you have the ready market? Are you looking for market? How have you got the export market? We know getting export market is not easy. How have you met the standards for export?
Actually, we have we've done our vegetables, like for the KEBS, we've gone through KEBS. Like we're waiting for our results from the standardization mark.
Yes.
That is one step already. We're also following up with this because now those are procedures that yes, exactly. For the market, we approached us like on their own. Already we have a few people from Qatar.
Okay.
2 distributors, not even individuals.
Really?
Distributors who are ready. There's one who already wanted like 1 ton every week.
Wow.
Because funnily enough, it's not only Africans who enjoy these vegetables. Like in Qatar,
Yes.
they love the mrenda so much.
Oh, really?
They eat mrenda and rice. I don't know how mrenda and rice taste, but they love. I hear in Egypt they also love mrenda so much.
Yes.
Yeah. So not only, and then other people are ready to embrace something new, especially at a time when people are thinking of healthy eating. So I think maybe a few have tried, because now for somebody like a distributor there to want almost a ton.
Ton is not.
And another one also
and a ton of processed vegetables
is
means
a lot.
like probably like 1.2, 1.3 tons of fresh vegetables.
Yes,
cooked, yeah?
yes.
So let me ask. So market is available.
The market.
The market, actually, you also have a market in Switzerland.
In Switzerland,
Yes,
market.
yes,
We're just
market.
waiting for the certification process.
Okay.
then and that's
We're going
it.
to
Then we are
export.
going to export. And actually, the whites who have tried these vegetables,
Yes.
they love them.
Fantastic.
Yes.
And we are also looking for distributors in the
Locally.
US
Oh,
and
yes.
yeah, in the UK.
Uh-huh.
So if you're watching and you know somebody who knows
Feel
somebody,
free to connect.
yes.
Okay. You'll share with us how they connect with you.
Yeah.
So now, I know time is going on the other side. We are supposed to be voting for you.
Yeah.
So you will tell us after the break.
Okay.
We are going to a short break. We're talking about value addition. I even forgot to talk to my audience. And we're seeing in terms of just vegetables. We're talking about traditional vegetables. Kunde, Banagu, Brenda. These are the
Terere,
yes, there's terere, there's
saga, pumpkin
susa,
leaves.
pumpkin leaves.
Yeah.
Fantastic. So we are talking with Nature's Best, Lynn and Fiona, who are telling us about their journey and where they're going and where you as a farmer is placed in that journey, how you can be able to place yourself. They'll be telling us how to connect. And when you come back from the break, they have been there's a very interesting journey that they are also now taking, and they'll tell us about why they've taken the step. They'll tell us why they've taken the step up into social entrepreneurship and why you should be voting for them. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the Farmers Breakfast Show right here from County 034. And today we're talking about value addition, whether it is profitable. And we are hearing that it is profitable, but it is a journey. You have been nominated for an award. Tell us more about it. How can we be able to be part of this journey? How can we be able to make sure that you bring it home?
Okay, we've been nominated for the. Oh, I'm talking to the crowd.
Yes.
We've been nominated. We've been nominated as a startup of the year by FOIA Awards. So I believe they've been able to add the link.
Yes. We'll be sharing
Please
the
click
link.
on the link below. It's only voting is only 11 shillings. So and you can choose or buy as many votes as possible, and you can also vote every day. So guys, bring this home.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
And your vote is going to enable us, just reaching out to many people. So many people still don't know about Nature's Best, but
Yes.
now through your vote, you can expose us to more people who will also contribute. Actually, your vote will contribute to us creating more impact. So you will have actually created an impact for the community as well.
And
Fantastic.
the visibility too. So
Exactly. Yes.
let's
very
market
interesting.
Nature's Best to the world by voting. Vote. Only 11 shillings.
Let's bring it home.
Yes.
Now, why is this important for you as Nature's Best?
It's very important because most of the time it's going to give us that visibility, and people will be like, okay, this is an award-winning enterprise.
Yes.
People would want to associate with you on a different level. Like somebody will already put you on a pedestal. Somebody will be like, okay, so when you go and talk to somebody, they'll be like, Nature's Best. You have to explain yourself.
Who are you? Why
have
are
to
you?
do
What
this.
are
Why are
you
you doing
doing?
this? Why do you want this?
Yes.
But when you approach somebody, this is an award-winning social enterprise. This is Nature's Best. Then somebody will be like, okay, fine. Most people have not seen it, and actually, that it's a big award where a lot of people who are watching it,
Yes.
you never know who is watching it. You never
Exactly.
know a funder can be watching it.
Yes.
So like we want it. Once we win this, it's going to give us that visibility.
Okay.
It's going to give us that credibility for people to work with us.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
We have just two comments here on the social media. There's Yvonne Contos who says very informative. And then we have one of our friends, a very good friend of ours called Kelvin Kea, who has really loved what you do. He says following keenly from Vihiga County.
Thank you
That's
so
Nadaya
much.
Green Farm. He has actually said that he grows some of these vegetables and he will make sure that he'll also bring some for you.
Yeah,
Okay,
we
no
love
problem.
that.
Kelvin, thank you and vote.
Yes.
Please vote. Please vote. If you're watching this, kindly please vote.
Fantastic.
Yes.
So now, as we wind up, I know time is now against us. I know we've discussed this before and asked this question before, but there are people watching, people who have seen the potential that you have. I remember when you visited the expo, there was quite a lot that you also saw and opportunities that were there. What are these specific things that you would like to be supported with?
Okay. Just we're going direct
Put you on the
straight
spot.
to we're going
Straight up.
straight up.
Yes.
So right now we need that plant.
Okay.
We need machineries.
Yes.
And we also need funds to buy those machineries. If there's any company that has those quality machineries and they are willing to work with us, kindly approach us. If there's anybody who is willing to partner in form of funding and all that, or organizations that can be able to fund us, kindly please reach out to us and we can see how to work things out.
Fantastic. So when you talk about machinery, sorry, I'm not.
It's okay. It's okay.
What is this machinery? Is it for washing? Is it for plucking vegetables? I don't think there is. If it's there,
We don't have any machine for plucking
If it's there, people
vegetables.
from my community would be.
So no, the women actually.
So what exactly are this machinery you're looking for?
We're looking to automate our production unit, and
Okay.
there are two main things that this is going to help us
This is
with.
production post the farm.
Yes,
the farm.
the farm.
You know, in talking about
Actually,
farming, there's
during the
production and
value
farming.
addition. Yeah, during value addition, actually. Yeah, so because our women are not going to be rendered jobless because they still no machine that can sort out the vegetables, but we need something that is going to cause efficiency in terms of we need to, when you're doing something in large quantities, you cannot trust the human labor,
Yes.
especially when it comes to cleaning, when it comes to just chopping. Yeah, so we would want an automated system where we can have a central place where the vegetables can be cleaned, every foreign particle left down, removed, to the next level, and also blanched, because we are also serious about leaving the nutritional value in the vegetables. We don't want to boil them, as when you're doing this in person, when it's too much, you might a human being can make an error. Yeah.
Right.
So when it's automated, like you clearly know if it is blanching for 5 seconds, that is it. Yeah. So we also need like a cold room that can accommodate more. So from the machine, we need a cold room that will freeze the vegetables without forming crystals, because that is one thing that
Very important.
a good way to freeze vegetables, not just
How
the
have you guys learned how to do this? It's looking at hearing what you're saying in terms of the specific things that you require. It means that you've taken a lot of interest. This is just 1 year.
Yeah.
How
Actually,
much of
imagine
that
it's
time,
just
how much of
1
your
year.
time? Yeah, because it looks like a 5-year journey.
It's like, okay, from when you're doing value addition,
Yes.
you are sorting those vegetables. Definitely, like, there's no machine that can be able to do that.
Yes.
So when it comes to cleaning these vegetables, there is a machine that can clean these vegetables. Actually, it will sort, and any foreign material that is there, anything like this small insect that sometimes are always in vegetables and all that. There are machines that can be able to sort them and like pass all the good vegetables to the next level.
Yes.
So that is when you're like, in this stage, we need like something machine that can be able to do that.
Okay.
Then when it comes to blanching, we need a blancher, because right now we use gas and sulfurial.
Yes.
So when it comes to that gas and sulfur, it takes 5 minutes. A blancher can do like let's say even 1 ton within seconds.
Really?
Yes,
Yeah.
within seconds.
Ah.
Then it's passed through a belt, and then it goes to the freezing.
And
From the
we've
freezing
had
points.
conversations with companies that make these kind of food processing machineries. We've talked to them in details.
Okay.
We've known we've also gotten their insights on what kind of machines do we need, what is required, what is efficient for us at this moment.
Yes.
So we already know, we already understand. It's not like we're still trying to figure out what do we need. We specifically know exactly what we need, the machines that we need, and we're even in communications with any other. Somebody might be watching from outside, even if we could partner together, because not only Nature's Best can have this kind of thing here,
Yes.
we can still have many more. So if you need maybe an international company that would want to have their base, because we are also now talking about value addition seriously, and maybe if we are doing this in the horticultural space, maybe somebody else is in the grain space, something else that our machines might not fit really. But now you can have a representative here. Nature's Best can be a representative. You can now we can be marketing or even speaking to other people, because we're also going to have a very big platform for the value addition. So if somebody, we can already give somebody an advice and where to seek for the solutions that they need without going through probably conmen, because if you need something that is going to be imported from outside, you might land in the hands of conmen. The internet space is very funny.
Actually,
It's
the
very
chances
good, but
of
again,
the chances of being washed is high when it comes to transport costs and all that. But if you are working with a legit source, then things
And
are
also
smooth.
considering that you've reduced the players in the value chain.
Yeah.
By working directly with the farmers, so quality is number one.
Yes.
So what you're looking for is also quantity. So on our part as a farmers, I know we've discussed this before, and on our part, we're going to pledge that we're going to support you by at least the first 2 seasons of a crop with land, seeds, labor.
Thank you so much.
And to see this vision growing.
Yeah.
And I know we are supposed to go and just see the land, so we will prepare when we go there, and we will actually do this show right there when they're doing the planting.
Awesome.
Yes.
And this time now we are going to get into now farming. People have been asking us you also farm, but this time now keep watching. We're going to be the farmers directly.
We will be on the ground.
Yeah.
Good. So now I would like to ask you both of you, just 1 second, or not 1 second, 1 minute. What is your advice to young people doing business?
My advice to young people doing business, you have to be patient. that aspect of I'm a business person, when it comes to the ground, it is totally different. The first time we were starting, we knew like, oh, I'm a businesswoman. I'm
Yes.
this
I'm
and that.
entrepreneur.
I'm an entrepreneur. Then when you come on the ground, my friend, there are a lot of things you have to do. You have to be for starters. If you don't have the funds,
Yes.
or you have to do like fundraising, you have to strategize.
Yes.
And you also have to be the accountant of the business, you have to be the marketer of the business, you have to be the delivery person of the business, like
The social media manager.
the social media manager, like you have to come up with content every day,
Auditor.
like you have to be an auditor and everything. Like even me, there are some things like my strength are not in things to do with auditing, maths and all.
Finance,
But
no,
trust
no.
you me, now you have to
You have to learn how to
you have to learn. And I'm like, is it a must? And you know, if you're outsourcing these services, it's going to pay a hefty
Yeah.
bill.
Yes.
So you have to learn, like you just have to, definitely it's not going to be something long term, but you have to be in the know exactly
Yes.
of what is going on. And it's also good because in the long run, when you're delegating duties, like nobody is going to play you, or nobody is going to downplay or do any crafty things behind your
Yes.
back,
Yes.
because already you already know how the business is running.
Okay.
And when somebody tells you to just start where you are, trust you me, just start. It doesn't matter what you have. Even if you have 2,000, just start, because you don't know who is going to buy that idea. You don't know who is going to believe in you. Personally, as we started with what we had. And trust you me, in the long run, we met a lot of people who have really come in handy, who have helped us with ideas financially. And it's because of we believed in if you believe in that vision,
Yes.
work on bringing it into reality. Like consult people, like people who have done this before. Like, of course, Noah Nasiali has been our great. We disturb him with calls. Yeah, from morning at night. Sometimes just that. Okay, we are like, let morning reach, then we are going to. He has really been of great
And the
of
pressure
great
gets
help,
worse.
and the pressure he's injecting us on the things that you're posting on social media and all that. Like, honestly, he has really been of great help. Like, consult people who have been there. Like,
Stop doing things in
yes,
in
and
hiding.
yes, and learn. Keep on learning. Whatever you are doing, you might have that vision and all that, but there are nitty-gritties that you need to learn. You need to go down back to the drawing board. You have to learn about basics. You have to learn about how the successful people who did this thing, because everything else has been done. So there's nothing in this world that nobody has not done. So it's for you to look for that information. That information is on social media. It's on Facebook and among individuals.
Yes.
Yeah, and also have.
Fiona is Nyamaza, as Maniza.
Okay, let me give her a chance, because when I start now, I'm going to talk until tomorrow.
But you can just finish.
Yeah, it's
please.
like, yeah, and also have strategic connections when you're in the business field. Like, you're not going to have relationship just because of gossiping and talking and all that. Like, your mindset has to change altogether. You have to like link up with people who are going to help you, people who are going to hold your hand, people who are going to show you the way, and the strides that you're going to make in business and all that. So that is all I have for any young entrepreneur who is starting. That's it.
Lynn.
Okay, for me, I think I would just summarize it. One thing, if you're getting into the entrepreneurship world, have this in mind: knowledge before profits. Because you will not make
interesting.
profit if you have no idea what you're doing. And knowledge here doesn't only mean, if you talk about knowledge, somebody thinks it's just the bookworm.
Yes.
But no, like you really need to know what you're getting into. You need to understand what strategies are you going to use. How am I going to, is this business scalable? Because we've also had situations where somebody talks about, oh, I tried this business, it never worked out. This kind of business never worked out. But if you look at, there is somebody else prospering in that space. And then make the internet your space. Like, use it wisely. Don't go there just to fit in the trends that are not going to help you.
Yes.
Because at the end of the day, it is you, the rest is you against you. And also, make sure you connect strategically with people who are going to help you realize your value, because nobody wants to stay around somebody who doesn't produce value.
Yes.
So it is your value that is going to also speak speak on your behalf around people. You don't have to connect maybe because you're always taking. You can also give,
Always,
and not
yes.
in terms of finances or something like that, but then even the value that you have. And young people think money as in it's, I don't have money, that is why I've not begun. Trust me, at this point, nobody is going to invest in something that even yourself you've not believed that you can pick it up from somewhere. So you need to like begin, just start from somewhere. Let help or support find you on the way. And trust me, another thing, the last part, please don't trust on these things that people tell you that just think about your passion. Sometimes it's not about passion. Sometimes it's not about passion. Your passion, you might be so passionate about it, but it's not going to be profitable.
Yeah,
Just
exactly. And at the
see,
end of it all, we must change our
look at the
lives.
trends.
Yeah.
Look at how dynamic the world is changing. Like what are the frontiers at the moment? What can you fit? And then you just have to work. But if you wait on passion, you might be disappointed.
Exactly, that's very true.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
wow.
above all,
Uh-huh.
include God.
Yes, yes,
Maombi
yes, yes.
tumefanyia hii biashara. Include God. Because you can cry.
Yes.
You'll wake up when the math is not mathing. You can cry.
Yes, it's
Yeah.
mathematics
Yes.
has stopped being mathematics. Huh?
Yes, you involve God, unalilia Mungu namwambia, you know.
You have
this
to make
is where
that
we
phone
are,
call
this
and
is-
your airtime has just got finished.
I know. So
You need to
Yeah,
come
so
to
a
the
lot of
studio
patience.
and there is no money.
Yeah.
Money has gone for production. You're
yeah.
Yeah, so a lot of that, and again, I agree with what you're saying. Partnerships, look at potential partnerships.
Yeah.
Look at your teams. And teams doesn't mean people working under you. Probably just people who you're associating with.
Yeah,
You know,
sure.
You see, it's called teamwork. You know, people associating with. And I always say the goalkeeper rarely does a goalkeeper score, but he's a very important part of the.
Yeah.
So even if this team can score 10 goals and they don't have a goalkeeper, that means they'll also be scored. You know,
Yes.
so it's very important.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for coming. I have a message that I would like to share. We are doing a campaign with Massacre on Groundnuts, Value Addition as well, and we have seen that the importance of post-harvest management is plays a very critical role in everything. We are doing a campaign with the MACAP, that is Market Access Upgrade Program, that is being funded by the EU on aflatoxin in groundnuts, macadamia nuts, as well as herbs and spices. And one of the things that is very important, especially after harvesting, is that make sure that you you ensure that you get adequate and timely drying. The moisture content should be below 12%, which is quite low as compared to maize. Avoid drying groundnuts on bare ground. Use polythene bags. We also have seen that you can be able to store them in hematic, jute, or polypropylene bags, so that you can be able to avoid aflatoxin. This message again brought to you by Markup, who have been funded by the European Union. Thank you for having come and dedicated
you so
time
much for-
and
we
a lot of
really
information. No, we've not
appreciate-
even
I know,
touched
we've not
10%.
exhausted exactly what you wanted
Yeah.
to
We
say.
still have
Yes.
much of this.
Yes,
But thank
yes,
you so
yes.
much for having us.
Karibuni
here.
sana, and we hope that
To
now.
our viewers, please
Yes.
remember to vote.
Vote.
Yes.
And how do they get to know where you are?
Oh,
Yes.
sorry. Yeah, we are located at Ronald Ngala Street, Magic Business Center, Shop BF 18, Wing B.
Yes, and if they want
And
to
we
call
do
you
deliveries.
and,
Yeah, we have
deliveries?
our phone number is 0794 478 121. Yeah.
Fantastic. Good. So thank you very much for having tuned in. This has been Breakfast Show, extended Breakfast Show. Hoping to see you tomorrow.